Good morning, everyone. This is Curtis Hawks with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, and I want to thank everybody for taking the time to be on the call today. And we've got a really interesting topic. I know a lot of advisors through COVID have had a number of challenges trying to maintain a consistent flow of prospects, and I think in addition to just trying to generate a consistent flow of prospects, one of the challenges has been if you're doing marketing and advertising pre-COVID, one of the things that I think we've all seen is that our marketing has had to evolve. And we've had to change the way that we are getting in front of people. And so that's really the core of what we're going to be talking about today. Now, before we get into that, I did want to take a couple of minutes here. I know we've got some of our licensed producers with us. I know we've got some advisors that aren't currently working with IAMS on the call as well. And I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the additional ways that we can help you get in front of more people and help support your business. And so the first thing I wanted to chat about was our new producer builders. And so if you're not currently working with IAMS, this is a great way to start working with us. When you write business, you'll accrue points on your production, and that qualifies you for a variety of things, whether it's advertising, marketing, you want a website, or you want to improve some of your current marketing that you're currently doing. But you can see up here we've got a variety of different tiers, different options, etc. I would encourage you, if you've got questions on that, reach out to one of the sales directors over here and they can chat with you about that and how you can qualify for these types of incentives. In addition to that, we've got our IAMS Business Builders. Again, these are a number of good programs that we offer. Our Referred Producer Program is a great way. If you like what we're doing and you know some advisors that might be interested in how we can help them, send them our way. Not only will you get some cash when they get contracted, but on an ongoing basis as they're writing business, you'll be able to generate additional revenue for your business. And the great thing about it is we send those checks out in their production on a quarterly basis. You don't have to do anything. We do all the service work and take care of that advisor. In addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, marketing has been a challenge. And so one of the ways that will help you is you can accrue marketing dollars with us. So on top of us bringing top solutions to you and helping develop your marketing plan, we'll also participate in your advertising expense. And so it's a great way to double the size of your marketing budget over the course of the year. And I wanted to highlight back office support. Firms talk about service, and I think many times as advisors, one of the core things that we're concerned about is how can somebody help me market? How can they get me in front of more people? And I think over the course of this year, one of the things that's been highlighted, it has been service. You've got a lot of the carriers that have slowed down. They've got staff working remote. And so it's critically important right now to have a good team of people behind you that can support your business, that can get you the things that you need in a timely manner, that can put pressure on the carriers to get cases pushed through. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't tested that out, give us a try, get a case over to us, and I can promise you that you'll see a difference. As I mentioned earlier in the call, one of the things that we found is that the ways of marketing and advertising pre-COVID have evolved over the course of this year. And so one of the core pillars of IAMS is customization of services. And so with our creative marketing solutions, one of the things that you'll find with us is that we don't take one-size-fits-all approach. We really want to get to know the advisor and what their goals are, what their target market is, and craft the right marketing plan for them to help them achieve their objectives. And so I would encourage everybody to take advantage of our custom marketing analysis process. And essentially what we're doing there is looking at what is your geographic location? What is your target market? How many of those individuals are there? How are you currently marketing? How many prospects do you want to generate? What do you want your business to look like? We look at all of those things, and then what our creative department does is they will put together an actual custom marketing plan for you. So that way we've got a path to go down with the right solution, so that way we're generating a consistent flow of prospects for you. So if you've got questions on that, if you'd like to have one of the sales directors go through that process with you, reach out to us and we can get that set up. So with that, we've got Brad Swineheart. He is the Vice President of Business Development with White Glove Workshops on the call today. And so IAMS is committed to providing the best options in the industry to help get you in front of more people. And Brad and his team do an amazing job of that. I know that the idea of a virtual workshop is a foreign thing. It's something that really didn't exist pre-COVID. But you look at where we're at right now, and those are a great viable option. You're seeing a lot of advisors do that, and also with so many people working remote, with their lives being altered by COVID, one of the things that we're seeing as well is there's a significant increase in engagement online, whether it's through social media, the internet, etc. And so for those advisors that have been trying to do virtual workshops, or you have interest and haven't done it before, this is going to be a really, really great overview of what the process looks like, as well as how White Glove can help create success for you and your business. So Brad, with that, I'll hand it over to you. We really appreciate having you on the call today.
Hey, thank you, Curtis. And you guys are able to see my screen and hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, perfect. We'll get this thing fired off here. So, really kind of touching base and taking a step back of where White Glove came from. We were founded by financial advisors. They're still very much in the trenches today, both in their financial practice and White Glove. And the idea behind White Glove was not only just to have a great marketing department that could fill seminars, but also to really take away the pain points that advisors feel when they try to become marketers, when they try to become event planners. And, with all the changes that are constantly going on in the industry and in the marketing world, really provide a service that is guaranteed to advisors. So you're only paying based on actual results and not on efforts. And that's what we really strive to do in everything that we do at White Glove, is we try to make it very much that you're going to pay us based on actual results, but also that you can focus on being an advisor, that you can stay in your lane, you can be that professional, you don't have to learn how to be a marketer when Mark Zuckerberg changes things. You don't have to learn how to look into different venues to see if they're open up yet because of COVID and what that capacity is. We handle all of that work. What we want to do for advisors is to take the bulk of that work and that risk off your plate. So all you have to do is prepare for the event, present with passion, and then educate and engage with your audience. That's all we want you to focus on. So our pay-per-performance formats are webinars, seminars, and food events. And right now, the bulk of our orders are still focused in the virtual environment. They are still webinars, so we're going to focus heavily on that today. But what that means on pay-per-performance is you're not going to pay us up front to run a marketing campaign for us. You're going to tell us how many households you want in attendance, whether that's at a local library, whether that's at a dinner, a restaurant, or for a lunch or a dinner, or if you want to do these online and run these virtually. You tell us how many households you want in attendance, and then we do all the work to take those registrations and get them there. But you're only paying for the people that actually walk in and sit down, or the people that log on to the webinar. And that's what that pay-per-performance model is. So that is available across our seminars, our food seminars, and our webinars. And we are doing all three formats right now, depending on where you're at in the country. So the bulk of our orders right now are webinars. We're probably running about 70% of our events in a web-based format. So what I want to do is talk a little bit about the process and how that is applicable to a virtual seminar. But really, at the end of the day, it's a very similar process if you wanted to do a food event or if you wanted to do an in-person library event. But what we want to do is we want to take all that heavy lifting off of your plate. We want to grab you appointments prior to the event, and we want to make sure that you don't have to worry about whether or not the marketing is going to work because you're only paying based on actual attendance. So what we've done over the last 5 years is really develop a strategic marketing that brings in the right amount of prospects. This is not new for us. I know in March, when COVID first hit and libraries and community centers and restaurants all shut down and advisors were scrambling to figure out what the heck are we going to do to fill our pipeline, that all of a sudden every kid's living in their mom's basement, was a professional digital marketer, and all these crazy lead gens and seminar options and webinar options flooded the market with just untried, unproven methods, and advisors took a lot of risk. White Glove has been doing this for over 5 years now. We've really honed in on the expertise it takes to have a very robust algorithm that's well seasoned. And what we do is always updating, and it's always evolving, because we are on the same side as the advisor. Since we stand shoulder to shoulder with you, you're not going to risk your marketing dollars while we figure out what works. We stand there with you, and you're only paying based on actual attendance. So our currently best performing topics are Social Security, taxes and retirement, and estate planning. And what we're going to do is we're going to market that event as an educational event, whether this is online or at a library or at a steakhouse. And what we'll do is we'll advertise that they can come in and learn about taxes and retirement, for example. So not only do we pair our digital marketing and our algorithm to attract that right person and hit that right person online, but then we use that marketing message to really add in a secondary layer of filtering, if you will. So if you think about taxes and retirement, that whole marketing message is built around how to reduce your taxes in retirement. Not a lot of broke people are going to spend their time driving to a library or logging on to a webinar to learn about taxes that they're not concerned with paying. So not only do you have that algorithm and that seasoned marketing driving these events, but you have that secondary filtering when it comes to the actual topic choice. So we're going to build that with your preferences in mind. So you're going to come to us, you're going to tell us where your best prospects come from, and then we're going to build out that marketing page for you for your event, and that's what we're going to advertise for. Now, if you're doing something in person, we're going to run that marketing about 5 to 10 mile radius around the venue. So you're going to tell us where your best prospects come from. We'll look into finding a library or community center in that area. We'll book it for you. We'll secure any insurance that's needed, and we'll actually secure that reservation. If you want to do a restaurant, we ask you that you book the restaurant yourself. And then if you want to do a webinar, what the nice thing about that is you can pick anywhere in the U.S. or Canada even, but you can pick where you want your prospects to come from. So I have an advisor that's based in Minnesota, and he does webinars all around the country. He just picks one affluent area after the next, and then we target, fill those events. He shows up, does that virtual seminar. So that's something that's really unique when it comes to webinars, is that your backyard has now expanded to anywhere that you can write business at. So when it comes to virtual seminars, that is a huge bonus for that. So what happens is we're going to run this marketing campaign. You're going to tell us how many households that you want in attendance. Let's say you want 20 households, for example. We'll actually take 40 to 50 registrations, knowing that our attendance rates are a little bit less than half, but we actually handle all of that registration process for you. So they're gonna sign up online. They're gonna sign up on that landing page we built for you, and that's when really the team at White Glove gets to work. So we actually pick up the phone. We make sure that we have emails, text confirmations, all that go out to those registrations in a very tried and true fashion. So we have an email sequence that we have just honed in on the last 5 years to really drive attendance. So we'll send out the reminder emails for you. We send out text message and SMS contacts that push. They might even show where driving directions to the library, or the reminders that the event's coming up tomorrow. And then we actually have human beings that will pick up the phone, and they'll call every single person that registers. So one thing that we're running into with advisors is they may not be comfortable presenting, and that could be in person, and especially when it comes to presenting virtually. So we know that in order for us to be successful, our business has to be based on reorders, and we need you to be successful. So what we do is we prepare every advisor that works with us. So when you're doing your first webinar, we're going to coach you how to sit, what gestures to use, how your camera works, how to use that technology. We're gonna show you the best practices that we've learned by doing 800 to 900 of these things, these webinars just in the last 60 days. So we're gonna train you on that. If you've never done if you're doing an in-person event, we're gonna coach you on that as well. Best practices, call to actions, how to open your seminar, And a lot of those things do transfer over into the web environment as well. But we handle that personal one-on-one coaching when you work with an executive here at White Glove. If you're doing a webinar, one of the nice things is we actually have live tech support that will run the platform for you. So a lot of times we'll hear back from advisors they're not comfortable running a Zoom meeting or a GoToWebinar. They're not quite sure how the tech works. They don't want to have to worry about audio issues or, does my camera work? Can they see my slides? All of that stuff. White Glove has you completely covered. We actually put a live human being, concierge, on every single webinar that we run with an advisor, and they run the tech. They'll do the pop-ups for you. They'll run the polls. They'll send out the Calendly links and the chat function for you. So they're going to handle that tech aspect. Just like anything else, we want you to focus on that presentation and turning those attendees into interested prospects so they can come and meet you for that first appointment. So we're going to have your back as fully supported with tech support when you're doing webinars. One of the nice things is that anyone that registers with your event, you are going to get full contact information, so name, phone number, email address, and we actually do have pre-appointment scheduling or pre-event appointment scheduling as well on the registration page, so they can actually check that they want to speak to a professional about that topic before they even attend the event. So you're going to know who your hottest leads are, and then what we're going to do is we're going to guarantee that based on the amount of registrations you request, that you're going to get so many of those appointment requests. We know that we can dial that in and we can help you actually garner appointments. And that's what any seminar, any webinar is all about, is having that first appointment. So just a few stats on what we run. Right now, our webinars, the average attendance is about 44%. Now, keeping in mind the advisor is only paying for those who actually log on, if we look at an average order size of 20 households, we're going to take typically about 48 registrations. So a registration could be a registered household. Usually that's not to get too far into the math, but usually that equates to about 72 people. So I know there's some other companies out there that are all about RSVPs, that are all about registrations. They're going to charge you for 72 people, whereas we're going to charge you for those 20 households who actually log on. So when you actually look at it from that perspective, that's how you should look at our pricing. So one thing that we've very successfully done as well is help advisors scale out their ability to host these webinars. That advisor that I was talking about that hosts events all across the country, he's really capitalized on our rebroadcasting options. So what that is you'll record your video, you'll hone it in, you'll make sure it's perfect. We'll coach you not to say things like on Tuesday do this or last Wednesday do that. So it can be more evergreen, but we'll do a few little edits here and there for you, take out those ums and the pauses and that kind of thing. But what you can do is you can pre-record your perfect webinar presentation. You can give it to us, and then we're going to broadcast that like it's live. And then you can either just get on and handle the chat or get on and answer questions, or have someone from your office run that webinar or your sub rep or something like that, and really scale that out. So the attendee is going to register, they're going to show up as it was live, and they're going to see that recording. So that is one option if you want to scale up your webinar presence. And what we're seeing advisors doing, especially the ones that are getting back to in-person events, they might be doing their dinner seminars or their library events, and then they're doing rebroadcasting webinars in different areas of the country or even different areas of their state that they wouldn't necessarily have someone drive to their office. They're going to handle that first appointment virtually, but this allows them to hit those affluent areas virtually and do business with somebody from one of those potential areas that otherwise they wouldn't be able to hit, while still doing live in-person events in their backyard. So when it comes to our virtual seminars, here's just a quick rundown of the price. We are going to have a fun little offer here at the end, and like Curtis was saying, they have some great deals right now. They've twisted our arm a little bit, but IAMS is going to put up some great opportunities for you guys to test out White Glove when it comes to these webinars. But just to reiterate, you're paying on performance. You're only paying for those who log on. So the leads that you're going to get, if you request 20 households, you're actually going to get 40 to 50 leads from these webinars. And we see advisors having massive success following up with the no-show contacts, especially for a webinar, because you can send that recording, then you can follow up and say, hey, I know you weren't able to ask questions live. I'd love to do a 15-minute consult with you. Here's my calendar link. let's talk just about any questions after you watch the recording. And we have advisors seeing massive success with those no-show contacts, which again are totally free when you're working with White Glove. So we've hosted about 850 of these things in the last 60 days. 80% of the advisors that are working with us are reordering. And to me, that speaks volumes. That's the most important stat on this page, if you ask me, because advisors are seeing success. They're coming back for more and they're scaling up. Instead of burying their heads in the sand waiting for this COVID thing to get over, they're actually jumping into this new opportunity that's available and really optimizing their presence using virtual offerings like the webinars, pairing it with in-person events or food events if those are open in their areas. But really the whole idea behind all, food, library, or webinar is there's no risk involved because you're only paying for the people that come to your event. You're only paying for those people that log on. So right now, as opposed to a different marketing company that'll react to your marketing method working or not working, we are on the shoulder to shoulder with you. So you're paying on actual results, and that keeps us at the cutting edge of what is working to drive attendance to these events. So one other thing that we've really seen some massive growth in and advisors seeing real success at is improving their digital presence, improving their presence on social media, having very reliable content that they can push out to their network, their clients, their prospects that maybe weren't ready for business 2 years ago when they first signed up for the radio show or you did a seminar a couple of years ago. So what White Glove has really optimized over the last 6 months is our White Glove Social Connect program. And what this is think of a nurturing program on steroids. We want to put your face everywhere your clients and prospects will be online. But we're going to do it for you, and we're going to use our best practices, both with our marketing knowledge and with our working knowledge with working with so many advisors and so many advisors' accounts, that we're going to be very reactive to what's changing in the marketplace so that we can keep you in front of your clients and prospects. So what that means is we're going to start with top licensed content. So we actually have fully licensed content from the top publishers, so Wall Street Journal, Forbes, Bloomberg, New York Times. We're never going to link out. We're never going to send your prospect to one of those websites where they're going to get hit with ads. But what we are able to do is curate the most engaging content. So Forbes, for example, might put out 10 articles this morning. We're going to grab those top 2 articles that are seeing some real traction. We're going to put them into our system, clean off all of the ads and the paywalls and all of that, and then have new relevant content that we can share for that advisor that afternoon. One thing I heard a few weeks back is that you have one opportunity to wow your clients and prospects, and that's by giving them information before they come looking for it. So if you can take content that is relevant, reputable, and being engaged with today, and put that in front of your prospect's face before they know to Google search it, before they go to the web to look for it, then you are not only going to be that thought leader, but you are going to boost your credibility in the community. So here's an example of what that article would actually look like. We got James on there. We put his branding, his firm information up at the top. They can book a meeting directly off of these articles. On the other side there, that's what that article looks like when you pull it up on Barron's, where there's just ads, there's a paywall, they're going to get pixeled by a competitor and remarketed to. We clean all of that off. We make it very clean, branded to you. So the only thing they see is that Forbes content and your face, your contact information. So there's that transference of credibility, if you will. When they're reading that Forbes article, all they're doing is thinking about you. One of the nice things is we make it as easy as possible to share, but we're never going to link out to that article. Like I said before, what that means is if Kelly posts this on her Facebook and I'm reading this, if I text this to my mom, she puts it on her LinkedIn profile. Joe Smith goes to my mom's LinkedIn profile and clicks that article. This is what she's going to see. She's still going to see Kelly's face. She's still going to be able to book a meeting with Kelly directly off that article. And one nice thing is when someone first starts to read these articles, we're going to hit them with a lead form. So this is built right into the platform. We're going to capture that lead. We're going to push it to you when you get new ones. It's not a paywall. It doesn't, they're not required to sign up for it, but it's a nice warm way to feed new contacts into your email newsletter that we're going to run for you. And really what it's meant to do is have all of these different channels working together. So your email, your website, your social media pages, all of those things need to feed each other so that when your prospect pulls out their phone, when they get online, that they see your face. One thing when I'm talking to advisors, they understand websites are great. 7 years ago, everybody realized they needed to have a website. If we're lucky, 2 years ago, maybe they refreshed it, took their MySpace page off of it. But when I'm talking to them about LinkedIn or I'm talking to them about Facebook, sometimes there's a little bit of hesitancy. And they're saying, well, you know what? I don't know if my prospects are on there. I don't know if my prospects are on social media. Well, the short answer is they are. And the main way I usually get through to these advisors is I bring up this analogy. I said, when do you think your top client, think of your top client, when do you think the last time they walked out to their mailbox, they opened it up, inside was a letter and a card from their daughter, and inside of it was a picture of their grandkids. And then that top client walked in and taped that thing up on the fridge. When do you think the last time that happened was? And usually there's a big blank stare and they say, oh, I don't know, years, probably years. And then I say, okay, well, that same client, when do you think the last time they saw a picture of their grandkids? And the answer is this morning. They picked up their phone, they're scrolling through Facebook, and there it is, grandkid, 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 grandkid. Who wouldn't want to be on the new fridge, if you will, right? Who wouldn't want grandkid, grandkid? Oh, there's James face sharing an article that, you know what? I want to read that because that's interesting to me. Who wouldn't want to do that? Who wouldn't want to be on the fridge? When I was 7 years old going to my grandparents' house, we'd all run in and we would count how many times we were on the fridge because then you knew you were the favorite grandkid, right? Well, this is just like that, but in a new virtual setting. So it's all these channels need to work together because when your prospect gets online, some of them are going to read emails, some of them are going to go to Facebook. If they haven't worked with you yet, you can bet they're going to LinkedIn to stalk you, and we handle all of that for you. So we're going to post on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter for you. We're going to craft a weekly email newsletter that we pull the top engaged content from that week. We write a nice little blurb copy. We put your branding on there, your contact information. You can send that up to 5,000 contacts, and it's very compliant with anti-spam laws. And it's also fully customizable. White Glove will do all this work for you, but you absolutely can customize. You can get into the system. You can change anything you want, or you just pick up the phone and say, hey, Sean, I would love my newsletter to say this week. Or, hey, Gina, I would love if my social posts look like this week. That's the real benefit of working with White Glove is we actually do all of this for you. You can be totally hands-off if you want. We're also going to write some code for your website so that you can have a news section on there that keeps that nice and relevant. So all of these things, they're all going to come with very robust reporting functionality to them. They're all tied in so we can see who's reading what articles, who they're sharing it with, who's signing up for your newsletter. The real benefit, though, is that we're just going to do that for you. So instead of you looking at one data point and trying to make a decision, White Glove is going to be looking at the hundreds of advisors that we're using this system with and what's working today, what's trending well, and that's how we're going to make our decisions to run your social media for you. So one of the nice things is, with your concierge that's going to run your account for you, that's what they do for a living. They're not your assistant. They're not yourself trying to learn a new tool or a new service. This is a professional that they run social media accounts for advisors. That's what they do all day long. They don't have another job. This isn't something they're trying to learn. This is something that they are proved and experienced at. So there's a few other really kind of cool little features that we'll put in there. We're going to run a Facebook Live question and answer with you once a quarter. We're going to do some boosted posts with you to get you a little bit of ad spend to really kind of push that out. We're going to help you with organic content and monthly calendars to push out organic content, so it's not just articles. But we're going to run that for you, and we're going to work with you to get your branding out in front of everybody that you could possibly get in front of. So just a real quick case study here on Social Connect. what I would consider a friend and advisor that's worked with us for 4 years now. I talked to him in January about Social Connect, and he said, you know what, I'm just not interested in social media. Facebook just sounds like a lot of people complaining about politics. It's not for me. I don't know what a Twitter is. I don't want to learn what a tweet is. And I'm just not interested in it. And I said, you know what, Kurt, let us try this for you. And let us show you that there absolutely still is gold in your database. Those marketing methods that you did back in 2016 that you think were a bust, or even the seminar you did in 2018 where you picked up 2 clients and you had a great ROI, there's still gold there if you can stay in front of those prospects until they have a question. So we built his Facebook page for him. We built his LinkedIn page for him. That's all part of the service. And then we were able to upload his contacts in there to start receiving that newsletter. Again, the newsletter is going to encourage them to follow you on Facebook. When they see your website, it's going to encourage them to sign up for your newsletter. All of those channels work together. But what he ended up doing is he ended up picking up 2 new clients that he said he never would have been in front of anyway if we hadn't used this service. He brought over $1 million in assets under management and $23,000 in upfront commissions, and he didn't have to do anything. They booked meetings directly off those articles. And actually, this is out to date because I made this last week. And he texted me at the beginning of the week saying he just signed his 3rd client from Social Connect. So what this is a nurturing program. So it is 12 months long. You sign up for a year of it, but that's what it's for. It's to keep you top of mind with it's really going to optimize every marketing method you do. So if you do a white glove seminar, we put those registrants in here. If you've done a radio show in the past, maybe you have a list of leads that you don't follow up with as reliably as you'd want to, we're going to handle that for you and really try to optimize any of your marketing methods. So one thing, again, just like anything else we do at White Glove, we want to make it very risk-free. So we do have a 60-day guarantee. So if you sign up for the platform, you're going to get full access. You're really going to see how this thing gets moving. Now, I wouldn't walk into that saying, hey, I'm going to pick up 10 new clients in the first 60 days. Again, this is a nurturing platform, but we really want you to fully understand it. So if you don't like it on day 59, you can just call us up. We'll give you your money back. You can turn the account off. That's no problem. And the last thing, just real quickly, that's coming out is our White Glove University. This is an online training program to really just help not only with seminar skills and webinar skills, but also practice management. What we're seeing in the trenches today that's working really, really well with advisors, that's all baked into this online training program that comes with personal one-on-one coaching from a seminar guru, Frank Maselli, if you're familiar with him. And you also get a free pass to our annual training event and marketing conference. So that's coming down. So keep your eyes peeled for more information on that. But we're very happy to be partnered with IAMS and to be able to work with your advisors and really provide solutions, whether it be a webinar or an in-person seminar. But really what we want to do is we want to focus on letting White Glove handle that work. Let us take all that effort off your plate. But really, at this point, probably more than ever in the industry, it's so important to be shoulder to shoulder with your marketing company. And we feel that you should pay on actual attendance and you should pay on performance, not on our efforts. And that's what we strive to do with all of our services. So if you're very new to White Glove and you want to do your first webinar with us, we'd love you to give it a try. We are offering nearly a 30% discount for your first time offer. And then we can absolutely look into your area to see if educational venues have opened back up, if libraries, community centers are a good spot for that, or if you wanted to do dinner events, we do those as well. And if you're really not quite sure you want to fill that top of your funnel yet, but you know that you have a database that you need to pay more attention to, or that there might be some gold still in there, then definitely take a look at that Social Connect program. I think that would be a great benefit for you. So if anybody is interested in getting started right away, there is a special link right there on this page. What that's going to do is going to lock you in, let us know you're with IAMS, and then you get that 30% discount off your first webinar. And with that, Curtis, I'd definitely love to open it up for any questions if we have time for that. And if you have further questions about how IAMS and White Glove are partnering together, please reach out directly to your team at IAMS and they can answer those questions. But I'm happy to answer any questions on our services at this point.
Okay. Well, yeah, Brad, I appreciate it. I was actually looking here. I see we had a couple of questions come in, but one question was what with doing an event, what is the average ramp up time? If somebody says they want to do a virtual webinar versus they have a venue to do, can you kind of give some context around what the average ramp up time from the date they decide they want to do it to the point in time that you would actually hold the event?
Yeah, so we're actually able, don't let my marketing department know I said this, but we're actually able to do an event in about 3 to 4 weeks. It's very easy for us to kind of put that stuff together. If it's your very first event with White Glove, we really like a 6 week lead time. And that's just so you can get very familiar with the process, so that you can be very comfortable with your presentation, so we can do that additional coaching to make sure that you're going to hear all the best practices that we have. So a typical order is 6 weeks out. But that doesn't mean your events have to be 6 weeks apart. Like I said, we have advisors that do 8 to 12 seminars a month. So it's just that first order, we like 6 weeks. And after that, it's typically about a 4 week lead time.
Okay. Another question we have is you'll see different formats with maybe you're doing recruiting around or advertising around one event, or it might be maybe 2 nights or a couple of different times. Can you give some context around when you guys are running a campaign? Is it normally to do a couple of presentations, or is it just one presentation?
Yeah, our typical order is 2 events in a 7-day window. So when we run a campaign, we might offer a Monday and a Wednesday, or a Thursday and a Saturday morning. That's typically how we run it. You can purchase just one event. It just depending on your preference and your budget. But we absolutely think that giving those possible attendees an option is always beneficial. So our most frequently ordered is 20 households at a Monday night, and then a separate 20 households at a Wednesday night, for example. But we can look at your area too and determine what topics would fit best with your practice, but also what topics would perform best and what times we would recommend you doing those at.
Okay. Next question I see. So, normally with a traditional seminar, you're doing that in the evenings, right? Whether it's educational or dinner workshop, or maybe I know we'll have advisors that do workshops on Saturdays. But is there a particular time during the week that you guys are generally scheduling the workshops, or can you give some context around that?
Yeah, each area is a little bit different, so we will look at that with you when they place the order. So we've actually seen recent success. Mondays are performing a little bit higher than any other day. 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock seems to work very well for the virtual settings. And then we've had a lot of advisors start doing lunches as opposed to dinners, and those are seeing some really good attendance as well. So one nice thing is that we're going to look at all that stuff with you, but you're only going to pay based on actual attendance. So we're in the same boat as, we want to find what's performing well, and we'll look at that data in your specific area to say, hey, we think you should do it Wednesday at noon, or Saturday morning works great. But typically right now, I would say Mondays at 11 are performing really well. Lunches are doing really well. And then actually Saturdays are performing well as well.
Okay. I've got another question here. One of the reps was asking, what is the pricing for the White Glove Connect? So can you explain how that works?
Yeah, so I'll throw that up on the slide here. So there's a one-time setup fee for $450. That will cover us building out all your branding. We'll build your Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter pages if you need those. If you already have them, we'll look at them and optimize those for you. We'll build that website code and then upload all your contacts into the email sequence as well. So that's just a one-time fee of $450. Then after that, you can either pay per month or you can pay up front. You do save a little bit of money if you pay up front. It's $4,900 for the year. But either way, it is a 12-month subscription. Again, it's a nurturing program, but we do have that 60-day guarantee in there. So again, day 59, it's just not your cup of tea. You can tell us to turn it off and we'll give you your money back. And then at that point, you've already gotten everything built for you that you needed and got a good look under the hood of the Social Connect program.
Okay. I was also myself curious. This is a different year with the pandemic, right? And uh, the holidays are not that far away. We've got Thanksgiving coming up, and then December as well. When you guys are kind of taking a look forward over the next few months, do you do you see operating any differently than you would normally as far as the workshops that you're doing around the holidays versus a normal year where it's kind of the same thing each year?
It's interesting. We've done a lot of events around holidays, over the last 5 years, and one thing that we're obviously very concerned on is attendance. So we'll look at that. We do have historical data, as Wednesday or Friday after Thanksgiving would probably be a bad time to host a seminar. We do think that this year there's going to be, with the options of webinars, that some of those days are now going to be back on the board as being possible and viable. But typically what we see is, there is still decent attendance right up until some of those important holidays. And we'll kind of coach around it. What we really want the advisor to focus on is being able to follow up with those people afterwards. So you wouldn't want to do one, right before Christmas if you then planned on taking the next 2 weeks off. So stuff like that we'll coach on. But if we need to take some additional registrations because attendance numbers are dipping because of a certain holiday, then that's on us. That's what we're going to do. So we might end up taking 50 registrations or 60 if you wanted, 20, as opposed to the standard 40 to 50. But that'll be on us based on those market viabilities.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, and one of the things that I guess I want to emphasize with what Brad has gone through today is if you haven't done webinars before, or you have, or you dipped your toe in the water a little bit, that's one of the nice things about White Glove is that their model is based off of digital marketing pre-COVID, so they haven't had to try and learn how to do this over the course of the pandemic. This is something that they were already doing, and I think the other aspect of this is doing a virtual webinar is a little bit different deal. But the nice thing that White Glove does is they've got a significant amount of support of how do you do this, what are the best practices, and then I think one of the biggest aspects of that is the ability to have somebody from their team when you're doing your presentation make sure it goes smoothly, because I know that's a concern that a lot of advisors have. Is I get on there, I go to start presenting, and something goes sideways, something technical happens, and they've got the support for that to make sure that it goes smoothly for you. So, as Brad mentioned, we've got a deep discount on this. If you have questions on this, reach out to your sales director over here at IAMS. We're happy to talk through that with you. Also, I mentioned earlier in the presentation, if you've got questions just on marketing, if you're taking a look at what you're doing and you want to look at how do I want to market between now and the end of the year, and right now we're starting to bump up into the planning phase for 2021, and so if you don't have a marketing plan or you want to evaluate that, we do have that custom marketing analysis option. I would encourage everybody to take advantage of that, to where we'll put together a custom marketing plan. But with that, Brad, I appreciate you being on the call today. Everybody, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and we look forward to speaking with you.